Olympic champion Anna Shcherbakova has repeatedly proved that she is ready to overcome any difficulties on the way to her goals. After a difficult season, the skater kept silence for a long time about plans for the fall, although Kamila Valieva and Alexandra Trusova confidently stated that they were already rolling out programs. In mid-August, Shcherbakova broke the silence and informed the fans about the forced operation. The champion will fly to Germany to treat an old knee injury. This means that at least at the beginning of the starting season, the chances of seeing an athlete in action are minimal. But how serious can the consequences of the operation be, and how long will the recovery be? After all, we never received a direct answer about the future of the figure skater in sports. At a minimum, Anna will miss the traditional open skates of the national team at the end of September. As a maximum, he will return to the competitive ice for the Russian Championship in December or will not compete at all this season. And in the not very distant future, there is a possibility that Shcherbakova will end her career altogether. Professional sport is the maximum dedication. Unfortunately, a long-standing knee injury does not allow me to train at full strength, Shcherbakova wrote on social networks. I have an operation in a few days. But I am sure everything will be fine, Anna continues. More details were provided to journalists by the usually laconic general director of the Russian Figure Skating Federation Alexander Kogan. Anya will indeed be operated on. She flies to Germany. They send her to a clinic whose specialists have already helped Russian skaters many times. We hope for her speedy recovery, Kogan told TASS. The official clarified that the injury had bothered the girl for a long time, but before the Olympics, she had no opportunity to do it. And in the summer there was a hope that rest and special procedures, which also took place abroad, would help. A couple of days ago, Anna was at an open training session. Before that she had a meeting with an assistant to the president. And earlier a huge tour with performances in ice shows. If social events could hardly affect health, then a busy schedule of commercial performances could also play a negative role in the restoration of joints. A knee injury is Anna's old story, which became relevant again just before the start of the Olympic season. The training camp in Novogorsk began for me with a ridiculous injury that didn't happen in training. Shcherbakova explained to her fans the reason why she performed in the first half of the season with teeps. Lack of motivation is a common problem among titled athletes. In the spring, Anya already vaguely answered the question of continuing her sports life, referring to the international ban. It is difficult to talk about the prospects for returning to the big arena now. At best, Russian skaters will return to the world elite in the 2023-24 season, and maybe even a year or two later. Is it reasonable for her to skate at the stages of the Russian Cup? By the 18th birthday, Shcherbakova realized herself in figure skating better than the same Elena Kostornaya and Alexandra Trusova. For a complete set of gold medals, she lacks only the European Championship and victory in the Grand Prix final. There are no opportunities to achieve them in the near future, no matter how sad it may sound. The status of the four-time champion of Russia? Dubious target. Among the current generation, Shcherbakova, with 3 victories, is already the home start record holder. And every year, the competition at the national championship will increase. More and more girls are mastering quadruple jumps and complex combinations. It is possible that to win now you need to consistently perform at least 3 quads in a free program. We must not forget about health. A knee injury is very dangerous. Athletes are used to sacrificing everything to achieve their goals. When the Olympic Games or the World Cup are at stake, this is quite justified. And risking 1 inch's own future for the sake of Russian Cup medals. To put it mildly, a dubious undertaking. Everyone remembers how many times the Olympic champion sacrificed herself, how she won in a semi-conscious state. Don't forget the broken leg. And now the knee. Why loaded with thousands of quad attempts? Shcherbakova is diversified, she speaks well, quickly finds answers to various questions. She is the dream of any TV channel. To be honest and frank, the potential for development in this area is very high. And don't force her to stay in competitive sports. There are the same shows where you can perform cool and develop. Former sports Dr. Vladimir Zotkin commented on the news about Anna Shcherbakova's knee injury, due to which the skater will undergo surgery in Germany. Why do Russian athletes prefer to be operated on by foreign specialists? There is a federation, there is a coach, they recommend the athlete to work with one or another specialist. I worked as a doctor in both Spartak and Monaco, I dealt with various specialists. I can say that our surgeons perform operations no worse, and in some cases better than foreign ones. There are several doctors in Munich who specialize in knee joints. Representatives of Shcherbakova pay money, they have the right to make a decision. If they want to do it in Germany, let them do it. How long will Shcherbakova need to recover? If she has a meniscus injury, then this is one thing, it takes 15 to 20 days. If collateral ligaments, another. If the cruciate ligament, the third. Ligaments are restored up to a year. There are a lot of knee injuries. To talk about the timing of recovery, you need to know the nature of the damage, said Zotkin. Anna Shcherbakova lifted the veil of secrecy about how training takes place in the Ettore Tutberidze group. According to her, in the morning classes, skaters work on gliding, steps, ligaments and jumps, and also roll up a short program. But the evening training takes place in the format of competitions. Like in tournaments, there are 6 minutes of warm-up, during which we run our program. Then the drawing of lots, just like in competitions, we draw numbers, worry, and run a free program. The coach writes a listing of elements for everyone, gives a grade for each one in turn, we analyze everything and then work on the mistakes. And so every day, 1 day off a week, said the Olympic champion, speaking to the program participants of the Serious Educational Center in Sochi. The athlete also admitted that, most likely, she would not be able to jump some double jumps now, as she was used to doing triples or quadruples. According to her, skaters do not count the number of revolutions in the air, because there is simply no time for this. The jump is based on sensations. It happens that after you get used to triple jumps, double jumps stop working, you twist them, because out of habit you twist more into the jump and get a little lost in sensations, but this is usually the first time, Anna noted. Shcherbakova also admitted that she does not adhere to any rituals before the competition, but she has a training system developed over the years, how to properly warm up, prepare, tune into the performance. For the past few years, I already had my own tactics, which I adhered to. I came to the tournament and knew my tasks for every day. Outside of what we have at the rink, I worked out at the hotel, went to the gym, I knew at what moment I needed to train, at what time to rest. You just develop your own rhythm, you know how to set up both the body and the head separately. It's just training and the right mental readiness, the figure skater emphasized. Kamila Valieva took part in the solemn ceremony preceding the final match of the OV Cup Children's Tournament in Krasnogorsk. She presented the spectators and participants of the competition with a demonstration program to the music from the film Avatar. Also at the event, she talked with Alexander Ovechkin, Vyacheslav Fedosov, Ilya Kovalchuk and many other hockey stars. Very cool and very exciting, because so many legends have gathered here. I really like skating, Match TV, quotes Valieva. The forward of Washington also shared his impressions of communication with the Beijing Olympic champion in team competitions. A completely simple girl. She is a hero, there was such pressure on her. We root for her with all our hearts, like the whole of Russia, said Ovechkin.